Gaga reads Tad and Dad. Words and Pictures by David Ezra Stein. That means he wrote and drew this. Tad and Dad. My dad was big. His big buggy eyes, strong legs, and a huge mouth. If that's Dad, that's a pretty big mouth. Wow. He sings aloud, burp, burp, burp. That echoes across the pond, and I love him. I think that's Tad. Little froggy Tad. As soon as I could wiggle, I swam everywhere with my dad. Look at me, Dad. Great swimming, Tad. He's doing a good job. Dad tried to tuck me in at night, but splash! I followed him to his bed. Why are you in my bed, said Dad. So you won't miss me, said Tad. I went to sleep and dreamed I could swim as fast as Dad. And then I grew legs. Surprise, Dad! So that's what was kicking me, said Dad. That day I reached new heights. Look at me, Dad. Great hopping, son. Dad tried to tuck me in at night. Splash! I followed him to his bed. That night, I dreamt I was best jumper in the world, like Dad. Look at him. He's dreaming he's like Dad. And then I grew a big mouth, and I could sing. Good morning, Dad. Is it already morning? Said Dad. Dad tried to tuck me in at night, but splash! It's me, Dad. I said. That night, I dreamt I could sing as loud as Dad. Dad looks tired and grumpy. And then I grew really big, and I was very hungry. Hi, Dad. What's for breakfast, huh? Oof. Look at Dad. He's on top of Dad. That day we helped ourselves to a feast. Look at me, Dad. Great shot, son. Dad tried to tuck me in at night, but splash! Tad, said Dad. When you jump in my bed, I can't sleep because you're always wiggling, poking, kicking, and croaking. I didn't know that, I said. Why do you want to sleep in my bed? I said, Dad, are you trying to drive me bananas? I'm sorry, Dad, but don't worry. I don't want to sleep in your bed anymore. You snore. Ugh. How can I snore when I don't even sleep? Said Dad. Good night, Dad, I said. For the first time, I swam away from Dad. Ah, said Dad, peace at last. And there's little Tad swimming from Dad. Yeah. I tried to sleep, but I heard a big hubbub. Someone huge was splashing around. Frog on it, said a loud voice. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was Dad. He was wiggling and poking and kicking and croaking. He was splashing around and making a big ruckus. What's wrong, Dad? I still can't sleep. Oh, no. I think what you need, Dad, is a little company, I said. Is that better, Dad? Maybe better, said Dad. Aw, Dad's sleeping by Dad. Soon, Dad was fast asleep. Zzz. I was right. I knew he'd miss me. Dad and Dad. Good night.